The top stories tonight in Y News. Super Typhoon Egay maintains its strength as it continues to threaten northern Luzon. The Department of Justice says they may file complaints against certain government officials over the issue of smuggling and hoarding of agricultural products in the country. Department of Transportation discloses foreign private companies are showing interest in the management of Ninoy Aquino International Airport. And tensions escalate on Korean Peninsula as North Korea launches ballistic missiles. Good evening, Philippines and the world. Today is Tuesday, July 25, 2023. Join us in the next hour as we deliver today's top stories around the Philippines and in other parts of the world. We are also seen in 1,935 satellite monitoring centers nationwide and via live streaming worldwide through the UNTV News and Rescue social media channels. I am William Theo. First in the news. The Department of Agriculture assured that they will continue the Marcos administration's anti-smuggling campaign. Presidential sister Senator Amy Marcos said that there are even government officials involved in the issue. Ray Pelayo will tell us why.
During yesterday's State of the Nation Address, or SONA, President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. emphasized his administration's anti-smuggling campaign. He added that this illegal activity affects the prices of goods due to supply manipulation.
Bilang na ang mga araw ng mga smuggler at hoarder na yan.
Recently, the Department of Agriculture raided warehouses in Bulacan and Metro Manila, resulting in the confiscation of millions of pesos worth of frozen meat and other agricultural products. Agriculture Senior Undersecretary Domingo Panganiban stated that they are now filing charges against the smugglers.
Nakita na kaming apat na smuggle. Sugar, onion, di karne, everything. Kinopen namin, nakalawag namin smuggle.
The Sugar Regulatory Administration said that it would help farmers if smuggling is eradicated.
Yung smuggling naman po, then that is really a need. No? There's a need to actually look into it and try to stop it as much as we can because first off, talo po ulit yung farmer kasi mas mura yung smuggled. Talo din yung gobyerno kasi hindi walang taxes and duties. And they don't respect anymore the regulation.
Senator Amy Marcos welcomed her brother's drive to combat smuggling in the country.
Matagal ko nang sinasabi na yung aking kapatid hindi nagagalit. Sana nagalit na dahil malakas yung dating kahapon at sa wakas mahuli yung totoo yung totohanan ng mga smugglers. Sigurado ako na may mga kasangkot na government officials at alam naman nating lahat na nagkakaisa tayo dyan, dapat mahuli na lahat yan.
President Marcos has already instructed the National Bureau of Investigation to assist in anti-smuggling campaign. Ray Pelayo, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people. We give glory to God.
The Department of Justice, or DOJ, may file complaints against certain government officials over the issue of smuggling and hoarding of agricultural products in the country. Dante Amento tells us why.
Department of Justice or DOJ Secretary Crispin Boying Rimulya revealed they are validating information on the possible involvement of government officials in the smuggling and hoarding activities of agricultural products in the country. Even those former officials are not off the hook over the possible complaints they will be filing.
Marami tayong pangalang nais tingnan mula sa iba't ibang ahensya na may kinalaman sa pagpasok at pagbibigay ng mga permiso na ipasok ang mga tawag dito, commodities na pinag-uusapan.
Rimulya added the anti-agricultural smuggling task force investigation is now ongoing to gather enough evidence against the perpetrators or syndicate behind this illegal activity, which is allegedly operating for 15 years already.
Malalim na kasi yung intelligence namin dyan sa nangyayari sa onion garlic rings. No? So yan ang aming pinagtitibay ngayon, the information that we have.
The DOJ will talk with the government agencies such as the Bureau of Customs and Bureau of Plant Industry that regulate the importation of agri-products. It would help the fact-finding investigation.
We will still be validating a few more facts. And we will be calling on the government agencies involved in the regulatory process to give us the necessary documents so that our database will be complete.
The DOJ still needs 1 to 2 months before formal complaints will be filed. Dante Amento, UNTV, News and Rescue. We serve the people. We give glory to God.
The Department of Justice, or DOJ, believes there is no legal issue that President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. accepted the resignation of the 18 police officers linked to illegal drugs. Justice Secretary Crispin Rimulya explained it is because the resignation was voluntary. Marcos Jr. accepted the resignation as part of the efforts to eliminate corruption among the PNP rank.
Kung marami naman ang hindi rin naman nag-resign eh. Iyan naman ang gagawa naman paraan para sa ibang pamamaraan naman para sila naman itanggalin na sa posisyon. Hindi naman lahat nagbigay ng resignation. Meron ding sumuway at hindi nagbigay ng resignation.
Meanwhile, the Philippine National Police Civil Security Group, or PNP-CSG, announced that 5 PNP Health Service personnel will be facing administrative and criminal cases for alleged irregularities in the issuance of psychiatric and psychological exams, a requirement to have a license to own and possess firearms. PNP-CSG Director Police Brigadier General Benjamin Silo Jr. said the 5 cops include police major, 3 non-commissioned officer, and a non-uniformed personnel.
Hindi na natin tignan yung kinikita ng mga loko-loko na to eh. Tignan lang natin yung epekto sa publiko. Kung ang makahawak ng baril is psychotic, imagine the danger can give to the public.
General Silo said the CSG revoked 377 firearms registration. This after learning that 313 of them failed in psychological exams and 64 were allegedly availed the non-appearance. General Silo adds the said personnel are collecting 30 to 35,000 pesos each of the applicants in exchange to the passing results in neuropsychiatric exam. The World Health Organization recommends to the Department of Health, or DOH, to integrate COVID-19 vaccination into its routine program. Gladys Tuabi will tell us why.
After the World Health Organization lifted COVID-19 as global health emergency last May, just this weekend, President Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos Jr. lifted the public health emergency in the country. The said pronouncement of the president is treated by the Department of Health as a positive step forward and agrees that the situation in the country no longer needs the continuation of the public health emergency status. Despite this, the World Health Organization emphasizes the importance of still having COVID-19 vaccination. WHO representative to the Philippines, Dr. Roy Paulo de Jesus, recommends the government to include COVID-19 vaccination into the country's routine program.
Despite this announcement, the virus is here. It lives with us now, right? Therefore, our recommendation to the government is to integrate COVID-19, including COVID-19 vaccination, into its routine program.
He added, it is also important to strengthen the surveillance system to be able to act early when there is an increase of COVID-19 cases in the country.
So we continue to strengthen the surveillance system. In case there is an increased number of cases, we are able to detect as early as we can.
Gladys Tawabi, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
The Department of Energy, or DOE, announced that energy supply in the country is sufficient during the first year of President Ferdinand Marcos Jr.'s term. This is despite the ongoing war in Ukraine, the price hike of coal and fuel, and other international market challenges. Energy Secretary Rafael Lotilla said they managed to maintain the energy supply through its strict compliance of the private power generators. DOE added that 8 new generation facilities have been operational from July 2022 to June 2023, which installed capacities by 930.8 megawatts and dependable capacity by 801.6 megawatts.
And for the news abroad, North Korea launched 2 ballistic missiles following the arrival of the United States nuclear-powered submarine at a naval base in South Korea. This led to a heightened regional concern. Annie Mancilla tells us why live. Good evening, Annie.
Good evening, Kathy. After North Korea's missiles hit the sea off its east coast, Japan's Defense Ministry confirmed the launches on Monday, July 24, with both missiles landing outside Japan's exclusive economic zone, intensifying tensions in the area. The situation of the Korean peninsula have been escalating, with South Korea and the United States increasing military readiness against North Korea's weapons program, leading to strong warnings from North Korea about the potential use of its nuclear weapons in response to the deployment of U.S. strategic assets. The U.S. expressed concern over the destabilizing impact of North Korea's actions and assured that the recent missile launches do not pose an immediate threat to U.S. personnel, territories, or allies. Meanwhile, earlier on Monday, a nuclear-powered U.S. submarine docked at a South Korean naval base to load military supplies for an unspecified operational mission, adding to the complexity of the situation. However, these missiles launches are not the first in recent times, as North Korea had fired multiple cruise missiles into the sea over the weekend and conducted ballistic missile tests the previous week when a U.S. nuclear-armed submarine visited a South Korean port for the first time in decades. Amid the tension and uncertainty, countries in the region are closely monitoring developments and coordinating their responses to prevent further escalation. Back to you, Kathy.
Thank you, Annie Mancilla, for that live report. We'll share more global stories with you later, but for now, back to you, William.
Thank you, Kathy. For those watching our live streaming on YouTube, please click the subscribe button you see on your screen and ring the bell for notification. You may also follow us on Facebook. Department of Transportation said foreign private companies are showing interest in the management of the Ninoy Aquino International Airport. JP Nunez will tell us why.
Department of Transportation, or DOTR, disclosed that next month they aim to produce the terms of reference for the privatization of Ninoy Aquino International Airport, or NAIA. On the post-State of the Nation address, or SONA discussion earlier, Transportation Secretary Jaime Bautista said that based on their timeline, by the end of October or early November this year, they may accept proposals from bidders. And by the end of the year, they may award the project to the winning bidder. By 2024, concession agreement for the control, rehabilitation, and improvement of the main international gateway of the country may begin. Aside from local investors, DOTR also said that foreign investors are showing interest in the management of NAIA.
Maraming foreign companies na interested, no? Kasi dito sa Asia, tayo na lang yung medyo magandang opportunity makukuha nitong mga investors, no? Kasi hindi na sila magaganda na yung mga airports sa other countries, no? And wala na silang masyadong opportunity to make investments on those countries.
The DOTR said that once NAIA is privatized, they may allow the increase of fare. However, it will only happen if the concessionaire will be able to meet the necessary improvement of the airport.
Ang isa sa mga requirement under the privatization arrangement is that we will allow increase in terminal fee or passenger service charge only if there is a noted improvement in the service, no, that is delivered to the riding public.
Interested bidder may invest up to 160 billion pesos for a 15-year concession agreement. DOTR said that NAIA is now experiencing overcapacity. The airport now reaches 140,000 passengers on a daily basis, which exceeds its 115,000 capacity. Moreover, in the coming years, the number of NAIA passengers is expected to grow even further. JP Nunez, UNTV, News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
In other news, Super Typhoon Egay moves closer and continues to maintain its strength as it continues to threaten northern Luzon. As of 8 p.m. today, July 25, the cyclone was located at 135 kilometers east-northeast of Apari, Cagayan, packing maximum sustained winds of 185 kilometers per hour and gustiness of up to 230 kilometers per hour. It is moving northwestward at 15 kilometers per hour. Wind signal number 5 is raised in Babuyan Islands, while wind signal number 4 is raised in the northern portion of Cagayan. Wind signal number 3 is raised in the northeastern portion of Isabela, the rest of Cagayan, Apayao, Ilocos Norte, northern portion of Kalinga, Batanes, and the northern portion of Abra. Areas covered by wind signal number 2 are the remaining parts of Isabela, northern and central portion of Aurora, Quirino, and the rest of Kalinga, northeastern portion of Nueva Vizcaya, Ilocos Sur, the rest of Abra, Mountain Province, Ifugao, northern portion of Benguet, and the northern portion of La Union. Wind signal number 1, on the other hand, is raised in the northern and central portion of Quezon, including Polido Islands, the rest of Aurora, the rest of Nueva Vizcaya, the rest of Benguet, the rest of La Union, Nueva Ecija, Pangasinan, Tarlac, Zambales, Bulacan, Pampanga, Bataan, Cavite, Metro Manila, Rizal, Laguna, Camarines Norte, northern portion of Camarines Sur, northern portion of Catanduanes, and northern portion of Batangas. The southwest monsoon, enhanced by Super Typhoon Egay, will continue to bring occasional to monsoon rains over the western portions of central Luzon, southern Luzon, and Visayas in the next 3 days. Egay and the enhanced southwest monsoon will continue to bring gusty conditions over areas not under any wind signal, especially in coastal and upland mountainous areas exposed to winds. These areas include Luzon, Visayas, Zamboanga Peninsula, Basilan, Sulu, Tawi-Tawi, and the northern portions of northern Mindanao and Caraga. The super typhoon is forecast to move west-northwestward in the next 24 hours before turning generally northwestward and cross the Luzon Strait. Some towns in Cagayan province have implemented a preemptive evacuation as a precautionary measure for the impact of super typhoon Egay. The Provincial Social Welfare and Development Office has assured that aid will be provided to the evacuees. Alan Manansala details why.
Due to the expected severe rainfall and strong winds brought by Super Typhoon Egay, several towns in the province of Cagayan have implemented early preemptive evacuation, especially for residents living in hazardous areas. Currently, the town of Alcala is continuing its preemptive evacuation efforts in areas prone to flooding. According to information shared by Jerome Ibarra, the chief of Alcala's Municipal Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Office, 16 families from Barangay Pagbangkeroan and Adamorog have already been brought to evacuation centers. The Municipal Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Office, or MDRRMO, mentioned that the number of evacuated residents might increase, especially with the anticipated strength of the typhoon. Rescuers appealed to their constituents to remain alert and prepared in case they need to evacuate.
Maghanda po sila, mag-prepare, yun lang naman po ang dapat na gawin. Tapos, number one, makinig sa radyo, lalong-lalo na yung mga barangay o mga bayan na laging nababaha o tinatamaan ng bagyo. At saka kapag may anunsyo na po ang NDRM o RMTMC na preemptive, dapat mag-evacuate na po sila, wag na po silang matikas ang ulo na ayaw. Kasi ang isang iningatan din natin dito is yung mga rescuer po, kasi mahirap din po yung nagre-rescue medyo hindi na kaya. Kasi may mga evacuees kasi na ayaw pa rin mag-evacuate. Tapos maya kapag hindi na talaga kaya, tsaka lang sila magpapa-evacuate po.
Meanwhile, in the town of Santa Ana, 42 families have also been taken to evacuation centers. According to Marion Miranda, the head of Santa Ana's Municipal Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Office, they evacuated the residents early, especially with the heavy rainfall they are experiencing in their town. Santa Ana is currently under tropical cyclone wind signal number 4 due to Super Typhoon Egay. The Provincial Social Welfare and Development Office, or PSWDO, ensured that there are sufficient food and non-food items ready to be distributed to the evacuees. This includes rice, canned goods, hygiene kits, blankets, mosquito nets, and other necessities. Meanwhile, the PSWDO continues to coordinate with local governments to quickly provide assistance if more residents need to be evacuated. Alan Manansala, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
The number of stranded passengers at ports in Bicol, Eastern Visayas, Southern Tagalog, and the National Capital Region has been increasing due to Super Typhoon Egay. Based on the report of the Philippine Coast Guard, there are 11,252 passengers, truck drivers, cargo helpers, 78 vessels, 2,048 rolling cargos, and 27 motorbangkas were affected. The Philippine Ports Authority reminds the passengers to check first if there is a cancellation of trips before going to the ports to avoid getting stranded.
Paalala na lang po sa mga pasahero natin, matuto po tayong mag-check muna po sa social media po at syempre po sa mga shipping lines kung kanselado po ba talaga yung biyahe dahil tayo rin po ay nag-aantabay sa abiso po ng Philippine Coast Guard at ng shipping lines sa mga kanselasyon ng biyahe.
And in other global news, Ukrainian forces conducted drone strikes in Moscow on Monday, July 24. According to an official from Ukraine's Defense Intelligence, who spoke on the condition of anonymity. The attack targeted 2 non-residential buildings, including one near the Ministry of Defense headquarters. Russian authorities claim to have thwarted the attack, and there were no significant damages or casualties reported. Ukraine's Minister of Digital Transformation, Mikhailo Fedorov, also claimed responsibility for the attack, stating that there may be more strikes to come. Russia's Ministry of Defense reported that 2 drones were neutralized using electronic warfare means. These drone attacks come after Russian missiles severely damaged an Orthodox cathedral in Odessa, Ukraine, prompting President Volodymyr Zelensky to promise retaliation. The Odessa strike resulted in casualties and destruction of historic buildings. Ukrainian officials also reported that Russian drones attacked Ukraine's port infrastructure on the Danube River, targeting Ukraine grain stocks, resulting in injuries and damage to storage facilities. Mass protests broke out on Monday after Israel's parliament passed a bill that would limit the Supreme Court's power. Paul Gatchalian will give us the details.
The amendment was passed by a 64-0 vote due to the opposition's abandoning the parliament, realizing that no compromises were agreed on. This is part of the broader changes announced in January when Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu was sworn back into power. Justice Minister Yariv Levin called the decision as the first step. The new bill addresses the Supreme Court's political intervention by limiting their powers of voiding any government decisions if it is deemed unreasonable. Netanyahu later released a statement saying that the vote is aimed to restore a degree of balance between authorities. He added that he is still hopeful onto reaching an agreement with his opposition with regards to the rest of his reform plan by November. He also warned the military to stay out of political controversies. Paul Gatchalian, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people. We give glory to God.
And those are the reasons behind the news in other parts of the globe. I'm Kathy Navarro, live from Vietnam. Good evening.
The Philippine-made statement attire worn by attendees at the State of the Nation address of President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. yesterday caught everyone's attention. Each outfit conveyed different messages through their colors, styles, showcasing the culture and traditions ingrained in Filipinos. Gladys Toabi tells us why.
Officials and attendees donned colorful and fashionable outfits during this year's State of the Nation address. Senators, congressmen, and other personalities walked the red carpet, each showcasing their distinctive look. The attire choices range from classic Filipiniana and modern ternos to ethnic gowns and dresses, among others. Presidential sister and Senator Amy Marcos caught attention with her tribal outfit, reportedly gifted to her by an Igorot.
Suit ko ang buong Cordillera, halo-halo na. Oo. Ito yung katutubong Pilipino bago tayo sakupin ng iba't ibang dayuhan.
Manila Mayor Hani Lacuna paid tribute to local artisans by donning a pantsuit terno.
Bibigay pugay po sa ating mga local artisans.
Meanwhile, others proudly exhibited attire representing their respective provinces and regions.
He's one of Talisay's pride. This time I'm good with the pregnancy and motherhood. So I just told her na I want to wear something black, maybe to make me thinner, then siya na'y bahala.
Gown is Bohol made, and I'm also actually wearing, supporting local product, Habibi, shells from Bohol. So yeah, I'm promoting local products in our province.
Siyempre gusto namin i-promote ang Philippine-made. It's called Tanalak. Mga weavers from Mindanao ang galing yung tela na to.
Beyond the aesthetics, some outfits carried specific messages through their colors and designs.
Comes in my favorite color, orange, color of health, which is what I wish for all Filipinos. Health, accessible health, and quality health care.
Sana ang asikasuhin ay dagdag na sahod para sa ating mga manggagawa. Kaya you will see the picture, ito po yung figure ng mga kababaihan na lumalaban para sa dagdag na sahod at pagpapababa ng presyo ng mga bilihin.
Wanted something youthful and happy dahil alam mo na, sa dami ng mga nangyayari ngayon sa bansa, medyo maraming kaguluhan na nangyayari, so I wanted to wear something that's happy.
And of course, the anticipation was high to see the attire of celebrities, fashion icons, and the partners of some lawmakers. This time, their outfits were simple, comfortable, and yet remained fashionable.
So, delicate lang ang aming idea, perlas ng silanganan.
Gusto ko kasi sana simple, not too extravagant. So we chose white na
hindi masyado OA yung pagka-flowers.
So, ito yung kasuotan ng time ng mga Spanish na.
Gusto ko sana something happy, something light, sunny, like our country's future.
It's so nice to be able to wear our culture and to be able to promote our local designers and local talents. So, it's my honor and privilege really to be able to support our local fashion industry.
Gladys Tuwabi, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
The Senate Sentinels were hailed as champions in the UNTV Cup Executive Face-Off after defeating the PNP responders. The Senate fully supported their team as several senators watched their game. Rina Villamor Camara will give us the details.
Senate Sentinels has taken this year's UNTV Cup Executives Face-Off Finals after a grueling fight against the PNP responders. Senator Joel Villanueva fired up early for the Sentinels, giving 9 points for the squad. Meanwhile, Police Colonels Joshua Alejandro and Irineo Dalugdog contributed 8 and 6 points respectively to get the first quarter lead at 20-10. The triple threats from Senator Bongo became the highlight of the second quarter as Senate were able to slowly take away the lead from the responders 37-33 at the end of the first half. A much tougher Senate went to battle in the second half as Senator Sonny Angara fired up triple two-pointers, giving him 6 points in the start of the third quarter, combined with 10 points from Ray Malaga, furthering the lead of the Sentinels to 59-51. In the last 10 minutes of action, it was still Senator Angara who gave away 3 points with 12 points in the entire second half alone, adding to the 9 power points from Senator Go. PNP pushed a little harder to cut down the lead by 4 points, 73-69 in the last 2 minutes of play, with baskets coming from Police Colonels Pedro Martirez and Anthony Padua. However, Senate did not anymore give an inch until the final buzzer sounded to take home the final score of 81-72. Ray Malaga was chosen Finals MVP.
Well, I think more than anything, we're all inspired. Yung Kite Foundation, we were talking about it even before the game, how it is important for us to give our best kasi yung beneficiaries namin talagang inspiring sila, no? Yung ginagawa nila, yung mga bata na nangangailangan ng tulong para sa kanila din itong panalo na to. Pangalawa, yung buong Senate family. Kita nyo naman, Senate President, former Senate President, the senators are all here supporting us. So parang wala na kaming mahihiling pa when it comes to moral support. So it's up to us to really give our best. Pangatlo, siguro yung tinalo kami nung PNP. And 1-point game, it's very heartbreaking. So we feel that there's another opportunity given to us to redeem ourselves.
Alam namin defending champion yan, MVP si Colonel De Mesa at yung this year's MVP si Colonel Alejandro. Alam natin na napakahusay na very well coached, very professional team talaga, kaya hats off din sa kanila. Yung game, talagang kita nyo, maabot very dikit siya, di ba? May point na lumamang sila, lumamang kami, pero talagang hindi siya na settle o di natin alam yung winner until the last minute, di ba? So, talagang very competitive.
It was a good tournament. Napakasarap po ng aming pinagdaanan. Natalo kami sa elimination. Nakabawi lang po kami sa semis and sa finals. Mas masarap ang pakiramdam pag nakabawi ka at nanalo ng champion. Team effort po ito. Senator Joel Villanueva, Senator Sonny Angara. Ang gagaling po nila Senator Angara at Senator Joel. Team effort ito.
Present at the game were Senate President Mig Subiri, former Senator Franklin Drilon, Senator Jinggoy Estrada, and Ms. Audrey Tan, the president of the Senate Spouses Foundation.
Yung pera na napanalo po nila ay gagamitin po natin sa napakarami mga projects ng Senate spouses to help our, of course, unfortunate mga kababayan na nangangailangan ng tulong. Maraming salamat sa UNTV for this opportunity na makalaro yung Senate Sentinels. Marami pong mga magagaling na kalaban. We had times na kala po natin na ibang games na matatalo na talaga kami. Pero to God be the glory, panalo pa rin. And we will put the winning funds to good use. Tulungan natin ating mga kababayan. So, mabuhay po UNTV, mabuhay po si Kuya Dan, Rozon, and of course to all those mga viewers ng UNTV, mabuhay po kayo lahat.
PNP has donated 500,000 pesos to their chosen beneficiary, the PNP Moral and Welfare Group. The Senate Sentinels has chosen 3 beneficiaries to donate their 1 million pesos cash prize. Meanwhile, the other awardees in the finals night included the OP executives who gave 250,000 pesos to their chosen beneficiary, AFP with 200,000 pesos, and 100,000 pesos each for Judiciary, Ombudsman, and GSIS. Also part of the Mythical Five were Senator Sonny Angara, Police Colonel Joshua Alejandro, Colonel Geralfredo Andal, Franz Alvarez, and Captain Paul Anthony Yamamoto. Police Colonel Joshua Alejandro stood out the most as he was given the tournament MVP title. A successful finish to the executives face-off as Mr. Public Service himself, Kuya Daniel Razon, thanked everyone for supporting the league.
We're looking forwards kung loloobin ng Panginoon sa mga darating pang season. Sana po magpatuloy kayo ng pagsuporta upang tayo makapagpatuloy ng paggawa ng kabutihan sa ating mga kapwa-tao. Huwag nating kalilimutan, mga kapatid, sa isjis ng Galacia, samantalang tayo may pagkakataon, gumawa tayo ng mabuti sa lahat. Sa Diyos po ang lahat ng karangalan at kapurihan magpakailanman. Once again, thank you, salamat sa MCGI, Members Church of God International, sa patuloy niyong suporta. To God be the glory!
Rina Villamor Camara, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
Our kasangbahay, as the world faces these trying times amid the various challenges and uncertainties, we are inviting everyone to join the global prayer for humanity.
Good day. I'm Brother Eli Soriano of the members of the Church of God International. I want to invite you to join us in a minute of prayer every day to pray for humanity and the whole world as we go through these perilous times. While safety measures like washing of hands and strengthening of our immune systems may help us through this horrible predicament, there is still no precaution or cure more powerful than God's mighty intervention. And we need His intervention now more than ever. It doesn't matter what religion you are in or what denomination you belong. This is an invitation for all the people around the world who cares for the future of their family, friends, loved ones, and humanity as a whole. Everybody is welcome to pray with us. For more details, you can check out the description box below. Thank you very much, and I hope to hear from you soon. May God bless you.
And before we close, we will leave you with the word giving glory to God from the book of Ephesians chapter 3 verse 17. It says, that Christ may dwell in your hearts by faith, that ye being rooted and grounded in love. And those are the reasons behind the news, July 25, 2023, reasons we deliver to you as they unfold. And because we need to know, we will always ask why. I am William Theo. We serve the people. We give glory to God.